Welcome back, right, to the TI4 Qualifiers presented by Monster. We're here at the BTS studio for the NA Hub, and we've got our final match of day one, possibly the most important group stage match over the next 2 days. It's Liquid versus NAR, and for most people, this is possibly the match which decides first place, I would say. Agree, disagree?
Don't forget about the other stream. They have the 0-4 team face off versus the 0-5 team.
Isurus versus...
No Earth Spirit.
Damn. Check it out.
Yeah, I'd rather be casting. Yeah, I don't know about you guys.
Come on,
you guys got shafted with the matches here, guys.
Indeed.
Is that LD and Fear?
That's on the lounge.
Oh, that's on the lounge. Okay, LD and Fear casting. I don't have the day one schedule. I have day 2 and day 3. Day 1 schedule is our mouse pad.
Nope, that's
It's over here. Actually, I've been
production value.
Well, no, this is. Oh yeah, that's true. You're right. That's day 3. Sorry.
Production value. LD and Fear are casting SNA, C and B.
SNA versus CNB. That's actually a big match. CNB are 3 and 1.
It's actually pretty important.
And for SNA, they're 2 and 2, and they've obviously lost to some of the scarier teams. But CNB, if they get a win there, it's pretty big. So check out some of the other streams. BTS 2 is where Fear and LD are casting. We're here on the mainstream though, so we'll talk about our first game a bit before we get into our draft.
Yeah,
we've already given our predictions, so let's talk a bit more in deep. What kind of heroes do we want to look out for? What's kind of the key play styles for these two teams?
Not for TC.
Yeah,
that's number one.
Boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Wisp.
I think they just need
Wisp for
something
NA rejects love their Wisp. Liquid also pick it here and there, but I think Wisp is definitely a hero to look out for.
I actually think what we should be thinking about is all 4 of us are favoring Liquid. So I think what we should be talking about is why is Liquid better? Like, what is their edge in this series?
Well, it feels like just today, more than anything, they've been showing everybody.
I think they move around the map a lot better.
They're playing well today, and I think they're just more of a team. They've been around playing together for longer, whereas you look at NAR, and they're just like a mixed bag of highly skilled players. Very highly skilled players.
With just one game, it's kind of like a wild card game if nothing else. You never know what you're going to get sometimes with these teams.
Okay.
I think both teams are going to be looking for Morphling in this game. Korok and Koikva.
Yeah.
Very, very good players in that hero.
That's a good point.
Same with, actually, Storm Spirit. Again, I feel like Korok and Koikva share quite a few heroes, so they can have pretty high priority in this series. Storm Spirit is...
Does Korok play the Morphling, or does Snake?
Korok plays Morphling.
Even if it goes mid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think those are Korok's 2 best heroes.
Yes,
by far.
I think so too.
By far.
Yep. Because like
he's good with TA as well, but Koikva doesn't really play.
If they do like a Nagasar mid, that's like a snaking more snaking.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Because he played it that one game they came back to.
2 stand-ins though.
Oh, so was Korok not playing?
Correct.
Maybe. Okay. Okay.
Well, we're a little bit underway with the draft. Do you want to have a look at it?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Well,
can we
get be asking that for yourself.
We need more up close and personal shots of heroes. Hopefully, Coddle will be in the mix today in this game.
Do you guys want to see the reindeer?
He probably won't have the reindeer though.
Well, I think both teams actually like it because we saw Demon play it and 1437 has played it a lot in the past few days.
Well,
so are there any other overlapping supports before we switch in? Is there? Oh, Coddle got banned. Oh, the Coddle didn't get banned. We're not. Okay.
Oh, my Wisp also got banned.
I think Marana.
Dude, well, the supports we talked about banned out. So we're talking about the draft, so we may as well
we're looking
pass it off. Sunsfan, Synderen, all you guys.
Let's do it.
Do your
thing. So, as we talked about, Wisp and Coddle taken out along with Treant and Lycan. That frees up a lot of heroes.
Treant's banned. Yes.
Thank God.
We get to cast a game without Treant.
What is he, 0-4?
Yeah.
0-3, 0-4?
He's 0-4, right?
Literally,
he's 0-4 today in our games, Treant. And he was first picked every time and underperformed every game. So
we're going to see an Invoker. Actually, he wasn't picked or banned last game at all, I think.
That's true. That was also a stat I think K-pop brought up. That was the first time that Invoker didn't get picked or banned in the tournament.
Batrider.
Batrider goes through,
He's been banned pretty much 100% of the time. So
can't believe I'm excited for Batrider. What the hell?
Now that I remember how he's played, I'm not excited anymore. So.
And there is the Morphling already. I'm surprised. Like I knew it was going to be a contested pick for both teams, but picking Morphling second, I feel like gives a lot of information away. It's one of those heroes that is. I feel like it's kind of a one-dimensional hero. It always does the same thing. It split pushes, it has burst damage, and it's survivable. And you either play mid or safe lane, but you always get the same kind of item builds. So you can build your lineup around countering Morphling if you want to try it. I think NAR need to do that. They get Shadow Demon.
I was going to say, you know who's been banned? Well, actually, Shadow Demon hasn't been banned, but
that's
great
a good
combination with Marana. I expect Sand King to be banned in this next phase because that's been like, I think the last 2 games, is it?
Yeah.
He's been banned in the first phase. At least one of them.
He's generally getting banned a lot these days.
So expect that to come here. But Marana, Shadow Demon, obviously great combination. You don't even necessarily have to combo them together. You could put like a Kunk or something like that. Even in addition to the Marana, that would be pretty awesome to see.
This is the best Shadow Demon pick I've seen all tournament. Like he serves 3 purposes and you pick him second. That's absolutely sick. You set up the arrow, you can disrupt the guy Batrider gets, and you can make illusions of Morphling. It's like disruption is ultra good here.
That's
It's
true.
absolutely amazing. So really, really good pick by NAR here. I think the question is now how they transition in. So it's great to be able to make illusions of Morphling, but you need a follow-up stun or silence to lock him down so the illusion can actually kill him, or that you can use them in the team fight in some sort of way. So the reason illusions of Morphling are absolutely insane, of course, is that illusions don't get damage bonus boni from items.
Bonai?
Yeah, that's the plural of bonus. I'm sorry. I'm Euro.
Sounds so
Merlini gave up and left. It's like, okay, I'm done. Anyway, Morphling goes a lot into his stats. So when you have a lot of agility, the illusions are really, really powerful because they're based on stats. So that's a great counter. Darkseer is still available. I could totally see NAR getting that as well.
Sand King and Darkseer.
And maybe this is a Korok Storm game. Orchid against Morphling. He's a pretty good laner. Batrider is okay against Storm, but they kind of counter each other in a way. Right. So that could
you would think
definitely
that
be
Team
a
Liquid
go-to.
would ban Storm.
Yeah,
I mean, Korok,
I think that would
like
be
you
a good
talked
one.
about, known for Morphling Storm above all others. Obviously, he's good with other heroes, but those are the two that come to mind right when I think of Korok. But of course, you're talking about the lockdown or silence or whatever you want to call it against Morphling. You have one already, technically speaking. I don't think he can waveform out if the arrow's in the middle of the disruption. Because remember,
that's true.
even
it's
if like
good.
it looks like it's going to go through past him, it actually hits him. So
Yeah.
something to keep in mind for, I mean, especially not even just the laning stage, but throughout the entire game.
The thing is, it is a good setup, but it's not completely reliable. If there's creeps or other heroes or force staffs or whatever, maybe you can kite a bit. So it is a good combo, but you cannot rely on countering Morphling with these two heroes alone. I think you need a secondary, but then maybe you're right. Maybe they don't need more than one additional hero to deal with Morphling, and then they can transition into countering the Batrider perhaps a bit more. Shadow Demon, of course, is great already. We're going to see what they do. So they're going to ban the Enchantress. We've seen Liquid playing that quite a lot, actually. They've tried to take this aggressive stance where they push towers early, gank behind the tower, just generally put a lot of pressure on the enemy offlaner. But I think most of the time when Liquid plays the Enchantress, the games we've cast, or at least I've cast and seen with them, it's like they stall out. They take the towers and then they farm, and then the Enchantress doesn't become that useful later on. So
Well,
I
technically
actually don't know
speaking,
if that's something
you
to
could
be too worried about.
transition Enchantress into
Sure,
more of a
but
DPS person, but
depends on the rest of the matchup.
right.
Team
So I fully
Dazzle
okay.
ban.
That's gonna be banned. So are they expecting? Now, Sand King's still top pick right now. I feel like for both teams. I mean, if they could get a Mirana, Shadow Demon, Sand King tri-lane, that's pretty dirty overall. And of course, Sand King, of course, one of the more flexible
10
supports these days, can
seconds
jungle
remaining.
with that Sandstorm, and Dragon Knight's gonna be the ban for Team Liquid. So
Team Liquid's turn
fully
to
expecting a
pick.
Sand King here for either team.
I think Liquid's going to grab it. He has good synergy with Batrider as well. Like, you pull someone in, then generally what happens when Batrider lassos a guy, either you burst him down completely or you set it up for a secondary. And Sand King, during the time you lasso a guy, you can actually channel Epicenter and follow up, then you just kill the guy, or you kill the follow-up team fight that comes with the enemies trying to
Right,
save.
you don't
the-
even necessarily need a Blink Dagger for those purposes either. So.
Actually, true. You can
10
even do stuff
seconds
without Blink, but
remaining.
it is still absolutely necessary for mid-late game, regardless. But Sand Kings
5
nowadays,
seconds
I
remaining.
don't remember the last time I saw Sand King getting Blink after 20 minutes. There was a point when that was almost the norm that you got it after 20 minutes. But
Reserve time.
Well, yeah. Now with Sandstorm being so effective in the jungle,
yeah, he's
I mean,
really, really good.
What, I think I've seen like a 7-minute blink
Yeah.
on Sand.
I've seen a Sand King have Blink at level
Wow,
5.
they're gonna go for Tidehunter. So
Radiant
they have
team.
two
Interesting.
heroes that are generally considered offlaners in Batrider and Tidehunter.
Yeah.
And of course, this is Dire we're talking about. So of
Yeah,
course, Anchor Smash
exactly.
now does 60% reduction and works on Ancient. So it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. The problem that Liquid are going to have here is that running anything else than an aggressive trial lane, the hero down there needs to be able to jungle, I think. If North American Rejects plays this very well, Shadow Demon Mirana +1 can keep out any hero in the Dire offlane. In the Radiant
10
offlane, you can
seconds
easier get
remaining.
experience. In the Dire, no way. I think this Liquid Tidehunter,
5
if it is their
seconds
offlaner in this game and they play Batrider mid or in the jungle, Tidehunter might have, like you say, to go Ancients if you can even do that on
Reserve
level 1. I
time.
don't think you can.
No,
I don't think you're
no
strong
way.
enough at all.
No way.
Or you can start on the jungle, maybe get level 3 and then go somewhere from
That's
there.
pretty
but
terrible still.
yeah,
overall.
I think Tidehunter in this game is going to be a support for Liquid.
So
Else-
some sort of tri-lane.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to play it as a core here, unless you play it mid, which might actually be the case. I think mid or
Perhaps.
support are the best choices.
It'd be really good against any kind of melee support, or melee mid, I should say.
There's a melee,
Elder
but
that's
he's
not
the
good.
offlaner.
Yeah, that's going to be
Team
offlane.
Liquid's
So it's
turn
looking at
to
Mirana's
pick.
definitely going to be in the tri-lane. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised overall. It's been something, obviously we talked about how flexible Mirana is overall, but generally we see her in a tri-lane, one way or another. Now the question is she the farmer or is she support? That's, I suppose, the only question here. But of course, team fight, Team Liquid has it. They have the
Yeah.
initiation with Batrider, they have the right click with Morphling, and they have two ginormous ultimates with Lich and Tidehunter. And technically speaking, 3 potential offlaners, although you did say Tidehunter not the greatest for Dire.
Lich is their best
Still.
offlaner.
Lich is the best.
The one they have, because on the Dire you can distort the equilibrium all the time. And even if the enemy team does a really good job, you at least still get the sacrifice XP and get something out of it. So, but I think what Liquid are planning here, like we talked about in the pre-game talk, that locking down Koikva is really good if NAR can get away with it. But at the same time, I feel like Korok is the type of player who's really good to lock down because he's a flashy player. He can get frustrated, overextend, and he's a really good hero, a really good player when he gets to snowball. Because his aggression can really pay off. If you play dual lane Lich mid against Korok, you kind of lock him down really heavily. And
we did see Lich Morphling today, actually. Didn't go too well, but that was
that was a different
That wasn't because
of
the heroes.
No, that wasn't.
Wait, who did they lose to?
There were some other things wrong. That was Shadows of the Past playing against Sna.
No, but what was the hero they lost to, 2v1?
Lich Morphling lost to
Death
DP
Prophet.
Solo.
Yeah, that's right.
But Lich also kind of moved early, but still.
Ooh,
Disruptor for NAR here. So that's another counter to Morphling and Batrider. I'm a really big fan of NAR's draft here. I'm worried that they, like, on paper that the heroes are really good, but the synergy just won't be good enough. But just Disruptor here again, really great. You can Static Storm, which is the one thing that you generally say Tidehunter will always get Ravage off, in quotation marks, right? Because if you start nuking him, Kraken Shield pops, you Ravage. If you're in Static Storm, it doesn't matter that Kraken Shield pops because you instantly silence the game.
Right.
So Disruptor is one of the heroes that can keep Tide from ravaging. It's really nice to have Static Storm against Morphling, and you can glimpse Batrider when he lassos.
I think that's the big
really
one.
Good.
I think, honestly, Glimpse is arguably the best single target or non-ultimate skill in the game, I feel like.
I feel like it's absolutely amazing, too.
Kunkka's the ban for Team Liquid.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because I really would have liked to see it, but hey, what are you going to do? It would have been a pretty good mid if, well, depending on who goes mid for Team Liquid, I suppose. I mean, there's plenty of, Puck is still available, Storm is still available, Quap, although we did see that once today, I don't think that's really top choice in this case, considering both the others are available, but, and we know that both teams play those heroes, so expecting to see perhaps one of those, unless it is the Morphling Lich, still a possibility for dual mid. But the question is, what is NAR going to do?
Sanking banned 5th. That's
insane.
So unusual to see this come out.
I mean, this is like a first pick a lot of times.
And like in this hero pool, I feel like both teams could have got it earlier without really being too much of a gamble.
It feels like they had something in mind before this game started, to be honest.
I'm really curious to see NAR's last pick. At this point, I feel like we can almost 100% certainly say the Mirana is a carry. When you have Disruptor and Shadow Demon, you want to play her as the position. Yep. Maybe position 1, maybe mid. Korok likes Mirana too, actually. Could be playing that mid, but not really the best mid laner.
I'm just hoping
poor attack animation and damage.
I'm just hoping Disruptor is the 4 in this case, like the farming support, because Ags on him, I think it's really underrated, especially against heroes that rely on BKB. And we're going to see Death Prophet again.
Speaking of the devil.
Okay then. So that in all likelihood is the mid now. And their lanes are kind of weird. I feel like it still could be... Is it possible Batrider dual lanes with somebody? I don't know.
Or Liquid goes full greed and they put Death Prophet mid, Lich offlane, Tidehunter Morphling top, and Batrider jungle. If they feel like they can control the Elder Titan with Tide Morph, then in terms of raw economy, if they can pull that off, they're going to get a significant goal advantage off of that. But I think right now if you're NAR, you're like, okay, we have Soul Catcher, which is awesome against Morphling and Death Prophet. You can obviously only hit one of them, and you might not even get to choose which one you want to hit. Death Prophet is one of those heroes where you get heavy single target. You just blow her up so she doesn't get to use Exorcism that well. So I'm thinking heavy single target damage. There we go. It's going to be Shadow Fiend, probably for Korok, who... Oh, he's got to play the Mirana. The way it looks. So Snaking on SF. He had an absolutely absurd GPM earlier today. Do you remember we saw that?
Who was that?
Snaking on the Shadow Fiend. He had an 820 GPM at, was that 29 minutes?
We cast a Shadow Fiend game?
No, we didn't cast it. We saw it in the lounge.
I was going to say, Jesus.
No.
Am I getting that old? Alzheimer's kicking a little early?
Snaking had the most ridiculous farm one of the best Shadow Fiend farms I've seen. Probably Arteezy has been talking.
Well, they have a little bit of synergy here with minus armor with the Shadow Fiend really Elder Titan, something to keep in mind.
Yeah. But how good is their control? Like, they have really good damage. I feel like there's a lot of weight on the Disruptor here to play well.
Well, Elder Titan as well.
Yeah, Elder Titan Disruptor.
I don't know. I think he's a little underrated as far as control is concerned. His Echo Stomp isn't the greatest, but it makes a difference. His ultimate is a space maker, to say the least.
And has really good synergy with Kinetic Field if that lands, because that should provide enough time to set it up. So, okay, I'm actually really interested in looking at Liquid right from the start to see how they place their lanes, because we've got TC playing Death Prophet, so that might be safe lane. We've got Koikva on the Morphling again. Then Bulba will be playing the Batrider. We've got Way2 on Lich, and the Tide will be played by Demon. So I was thinking they might go for the full greed thing that I mentioned with the Lich offlane, but it looks like they are going to send Bulba in the offlane. He needs to play so carefully that I almost doubt if it's worth it for him to even start down there. Like, if he gets disrupted, he's dead.
That is true.
That's
I mean,
the only thing.
That's a kill tri-lane.
Shadow Demon
That's
can
the
just
definition.
stand and keep him away.
Right.
He can stand in the lane, and then Disruptor can jungle. And pull, farm whatever he wants. As long as the Mirana is being played in the safe lane, which I think they'll do. So
looking at North American rejects, Brax on the Elder Titan. Fog's going to be playing the Shadow Demon. Korok, like we talked about, thought we were going to he was going to be playing the Shadow Fiend. He's going to be the Mirana here. 1437 on Disruptor. And last but not least, Snake King playing the Shadow
Hashtag the king.
30 seconds.
Yes, everybody
Shadow
loves Snake
Fiend.
King.
That's actually going to be a thing. It is.
Everybody,
The king
hashtag
thing.
everybody loves Snake King. It's kind of long, but I'm willing to put up with it if you are. So this game, I hope that our amazing cameraman gods will focus perhaps on Morphling's armor throughout this game. That's something we can probably talk about.
That gets boring really
Well,
fast.
look at how do you put armor on a hero like that? You know,
I know, I was always wondering.
like how does that stay on?
The battle begins.
Like what kind of water is that? I don't know. Either way, he looks
It's the-
amazing.
What's that called? The centrifugal force? Fugal.
What?
What's that called in English? Actually, I have no idea what that's called. You know, when you swing a bucket of water and the water stays in because you're swinging it all the time? What, sorry? Centripetal.
Centripetal.
I think that's another type of force. I think they're like two. Whatever. That's the way he keeps his armor on, because the water, it doesn't make any sense. Come on, why are we talking about
This is like getting out of hand.
Yeah,
Looks
that's-
like we're gonna have a dual lane for NAR. Fogged, the Shadow Demon with the Elder Titan. Is this a
Wow.
Okay, this isn't actually a tri-lane. It
They
starts out
are-
as a tri-lane.
They are letting Bulba get to the...
Finish your thoughts, Henry.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what the plan is here. They're going to rotate up to help out the Mirana and Korok here. They probably want him to get some good farm in the offlane, but I think Liquid just tricked them here with how they put their lanes. I think NAR was expecting different lanes, and because of this, Bulba is actually going to be able to get some stuff down here. They're rotating up the Shadow Demon to keep Mirana safe to get some farm up here, but at the same time, I think Elder Titan versus Morphling is a pretty even lane. Maybe ET actually even has an advantage here in terms of just raw harassment and attack power. But
Wow,
this is
look at
surprising. I think giving Batrider space is a little risky.
Bulba
which-
could
oh,
actually
wow.
get this kill on Disruptor if Disruptor's not careful. But the right clicks continue.
Yeah.
He's just not turning. I guess that's the big thing with Sticky Knife Bone. Just don't turn, you'll be good to go. But yeah, in that 1v1 situation, Shadow Fiend versus Batrider, Shadow Fiend will get dumped on. So it's a good thing to see Disruptor here. But of course, they don't have the kill potential with just these two. But here, as we talk about that, Lich is now going to assist Shadow Fiend. Or I'm sorry, going to assist the Batrider in this
Yeah.
lane with denying.
That's a good way to make sure Batrider gets something out of this lane. But I think the work Bulba has done already has actually been enough to almost secure in level 3 at this point with how the lane is going.
I
If
mean,
this
worst
wave
case
doesn't die
scenario,
too
he
fast-
could just go to the jungle now. So
Yeah, exactly.
he's
I
fine.
think that might actually be a really good call for Liquid here. Just let Lich play in the offlane a bit, go Batrider jungle, get a fast Blink Dagger, and then as long as NAR are playing the lanes the way they are, I don't see any of the lanes of Liquid getting significantly pressured. Like the Death Prophet seeming okay, safe in the top lane against Mirana Shadow Demon alone, and yeah, the mid lane is fine too, I guess. So we're gonna see what they choose to do here. As far as this goes strategically, I feel like this is a completely dead even start. I think support rotations are going to be really important in the next few minutes.
Yeah. And actually looking at the mid, you were talking about how you thought Elder Titan had the advantage. It's about even overall
Yeah.
for the
Pretty
CS
even.
department. And it seems like Lich is just going from lane to lane, helping everybody out. He's has a helping hand in every lane, so, except for top at this point, but I'm sure he'll maneuver his way up there at some point. Going for the Frost Blast as well as Sacrifice. Now, with this new ice armor, do you get like a value point in that, like early on
In which?
in Lich ice armor?
in which?
In Lich
Dudum.
ice armor? I guess it depends if you're getting pushed. If you're not getting pushed, there's no point.
No,
right?
not unless you're getting pushed. I would agree. Like, if it's this kind of a lane play game, level up Sacrifice. Take more and more control of the advantage you get. Get a fast level 6 on Lich by maxing out Sacrifice. Try to harass a little bit with the Frost Blast overall. The way it looks, there's not going to be any fights breaking out anytime soon. This is going to turn into pretty much a farm game, the way it looks at the moment. And then I'm expecting a lot of fights to start breaking out when we get high levels on Batrider and on Tide in particular. Tide's level 1, by the way, so it's going to take a while for Liquid. But
If you look at Liquid's lineup as far as team fight is concerned, I'm not going to say it doesn't synergize, but the Tidehunter Ravage is also obviously amazing. But when you play Death Prophet against the Death Prophet Exorcism, you kind of space out a bit. Getting some space
mid lane?
overall. Mid lane, Elder Titan versus Morphling.
Swing that
right
briefcase,
click
bro.
is so much.
Oh,
Brax
boy.
is actually hesitating.
yeah, he has to. Qualifier has waveform in a second, so good call for Brax to back off there.
Using the
Gonna throw
Astral
another
Spirit
Astral.
to harass even more. That is a lot of damage, actually.
Yeah, he's pressuring Qualifier really hard right now. Qualifier can't actually go and farm because if Brax gets in and gets one attack off, he's going to kill him. So with that extra 50 movement speed advantage he has, Qualifier has to be a little careful. There comes his bottle comes in though. We're going to waveform this, get a little bit of extra farm.
Wants to bait out this rune perhaps, because he knows that Lich is going to secure it for himself. 1437 is not going to deny it. Way 2 picks it up just in time. Level 1 Thunderstrike with 2 in Glimpse. Of course, I can't overstate how important that skill is. It is absolutely amazing. What is Shadow Fiend? What is it? Presence of the Dark Lord. The passive. That's, I think, -6 armor. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So ice armor is 9, so it pretty much just negates that completely. Something to keep in mind for the late game. Of course, with the synergy between Elder Titan and Shadow. Actually, 5 stacks. Oh boy, Snake King.
Bulba.
He's just gonna have to right click.
Yep.
Bulba doing a really good job of making him turn. That is a dead Snake King. First blood going the way of Bulba.
When Bad Rider gets to go in on you like that, and the only raise you get off is just the short range one, you're screwed. Because what Snake King needs to do in this situation is he needs to see Bulba going for the initiation. He needs to hit the mid-range raise and the short range, at least 2, else Bulba just overpowers him and kites him around. So very nicely done here by Bulba. And this is what you would be worried about in the early game, right? I feel like Bad Rider got a lot of space, and Bulba immediately making quick work of the Shadow Fiend here, getting his level 6, getting some much-needed gold towards the Blink.
Oh, where's the support for Snake King? Like they've just been roaming around. Like the 1437 is here now, but I think it's a little too late. Because Bat Rider's gonna have his blink in the next 4 minutes, would you say? Something like that? Not even. So
yeah, when he gets that
let's say
first
a
blood
really
gold,
early
it's
blink.
gonna be really quick.
Especially when they have so much potential. They
Oh,
can
he's
kill.
stealing their stack.
Oh, is that that's a triple stack, double stack?
He's stealing their.
Boy.
That's a triple stack they made for Snake King. Bulba is making all the right decisions in this
Man,
game.
oh
This
man.
is so much experience going the way of Liquid.
Alright, so screw the 4 minutes. It's pretty much like 2 minutes.
Level
between
7
that
at 6
blink.
minutes on the offlane Bat Rider.
Yeah, 1400 gold to
He
boot
got
as well.
so much there. And it's one thing he steals it so that Shadow Fiend doesn't get it, but think about how much time Disruptor invested into actually making these stacks where he could have pressured on the lanes. This is like a double loss.
Right. They
for North
invested
American
so much
rejects.
into that stack, essentially. Brax is going to pick up the Invis rune. He's working on his mech, has the buckler right now. Morphling, pretty much even in the farm with the Shadow Fiend overall. Not too bad.
Yeah, and at the same time, the top lane, Korok's farm is really underwhelming. He's got 16 CS at 6.5 minutes. And they've committed a Shadow Demon to being up here. I mean, sure, you get some experience from Mirana, but TZ has been out farming him pretty heavily. He's level 6 as well.
Is Tidehunter full-time
So.
jungle? As we're going to see some action onto way 2. There's the glimpse. Right click should be enough. Not even needed. The raise finishes him off. Is this a full-time jungle Tidehunter is the question. Because we said how bad it was. I guess if he gets a couple of levels early, then he could potentially do it.
As long as
decently
the
well.
lanes are going this way, I don't see any reason for Demon to get involved, to be honest. Just farm. He's not needed anywhere. They're out farming the top lane. I think Koikva's feeling okay in the mid lane. He's actually winning that by 10 CS suddenly. That was even early on.
Yeah.
He's been getting ahead of Brax there, and they know Bulba's having a great time, so why not Demon? Go to the jungle, or go in the offlane as he's doing right now. So, gonna get some experience there. Bulba is in the jungle. It's gonna be the Blink Dagger in... He's gonna get an 8-minute Blink Dagger. Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
that's not good. Of course, there is Glimpse. That's the one great counter to this hero, other than Disruption, which
50
is
gold
another
away.
great counter.
Yeah.
So 2 great counters to this hero, but either way, getting a blink that early, obviously, is pretty huge. Now, Shadow Fiend picks up a Hand of Midas, so securing himself some, I guess, that kind of... It doesn't really make up for the stacks that were stolen, but I suppose he would have gone that anyway.
Yeah, the thing is, at this point, when Bad Rider has such an early blink and Shadow Fiend goes Midas, he's a 700 HP hero. So, with every single ult, Bulba +1, or maybe even Bulba alone, can just go and kill Snake King every single time if Disruptor or Shadow Demon isn't there.
Well, the question is, can Bulba snowball this? With a Blink Dagger this early, even sub 8 minutes, technically speaking, he can get solo kills on pretty much anybody, I feel like.
I think that's the worst decision NAR made in this game so far, is how much bait they gave Bulba. You see immediate
go.
smoke,
Doesn't want to show his Blink Dagger.
and Demon is baiting. This is
Oh
a perfect
boy,
play from
Snake
Liquid.
King.
Snake King's going to wall right into it.
They didn't even need the lasso here, but they're going to use it just to secure the kill, because it is a very important one. Hannah Midas. Don't believe it's going to be on cooldown, so he's not going to lose that at least, but like you said, very squishy hero.
And suddenly Morphling, Koikva actually has the highest CS in the game with 52 in that mid lane. So even the Shadow Fiend is actually... The safe lane Shadow Fiend is getting out-farmed by the mid Morphling. Only 2 CS, but it's because Snake King has died twice, so he's been off the map for quite a while. And where's Korok getting... Okay, Korok is catching up. He's got 36 now, so finally on par with TC, which... I mean, considering the lanes, I
I'm
feel
really
like...
disappointed we haven't seen Disruption Arrow
Yeah.
at all. Like, that's the whole point of that lane, isn't it? I mean, obviously the heroes are great in their own right. Shadow Demon great against Bat Rider, and Mirana just good. But in lane, they're so dirty. I'm really surprised we haven't seen that yet. Snaking transitions back into the jungle.
Oh boy, Snaking, not again.
Oh boy. Lasso's not up for another 30. He's gonna start.
Oh, good raise.
Actually, wow, he's gonna might get the last hit here. Nope.
He got it.
The raise is actually in range.
And he's gonna stick as well. And now Demon's in trouble.
Oh,
Short range. Oh my goodness, what a player.
He just came back.
Hashtag the king.
He just came back. He was down and out, but he found a way out somehow.
Yeah, that was some really, really good raise usage here from Snaking. That could have been played better. Of course, the reason he's successful is that Lasso's on cooldown, but you can't really fault Liquid for going for that. That was completely realistic to get that kill. Snaking outplayed them. Glimpse bottom lane. Way 2's gonna die as well.
Way 2 does not have his ult. Not that it would technically matter here. Disruption, though.
Okay.
Buys him some time. And here comes the Lasso, as we just talked about, off cooldown now. Gonna try to get a solo kill on Fog. Looks like he's gonna do so. 1437 as well.
I'm surprised he didn't
so
just
much
run.
faster. Flame break, auto attack. Goodbye. Double kill for Bulba. And Lich lives.
I am not sure what 1437 was expecting there. I mean, your buddy's dead. You have used every ability you have. The battery's on full health, and you're meleeing him. That was... Well, at the same time, I don't know if he could have got away, but I think that was... He should have perhaps at least tried that. But still, a lot of action across the board. Still have to say Liquid coming out ahead. Only about 1,000 gold and 1,500 experience, but most importantly, Snaking, even though he got those 2 combat kills, he isn't having the best game so far. He's having an okay one because he got the double. If he didn't have that double kill, this would be looking pretty grim already, actually.
I feel like this top lane, nothing has happened.
Yeah,
Korok has done nothing. TC has done nothing. They're just farming. But I think this works out for Liquid more than
They're going to spot each other. Everybody's running away. Korok leaping.
Leaping into the wave. Here we have disruption, kinetic field, everything. Arrow.
He did.
TC is dead. So something happened top lane. Congratulations. You used that combination
Shadow.
correctly. Moonlight Shadow. Morphling gets a kill. And he's just going to run away with that haste. Nope. Astral Spirit does quite a bit of damage, I have to say.
Yeah. That was
even nerfed in 6.8, I think.
It's pretty sick when you think about it, how Shadow Fiend's raises do 300 damage to the targets when natural orders on top of them. And in most cases, Shadow Fiend will often be able to hit 2 raises on 1 or 2 targets, right? So 2 raises is 600 damage just flat. That kills Lich. His 2 raises with an Astral Spirit on top of is a kill. So they have so much synergy actually with the natural order as long as they can pull it off. And we talked about
Shadow Fiend just runs away when he sees Demon there waiting like a creeper in the forest.
He's level 11 now.
Who is?
Snaking. That's really, really good being level 11 at 11 minutes. He died twice and he's level 11.
That was a disastrous start. He's come back big time.
He got first blooded 1-on-1. His Midas got delayed. His stacks in the jungle were stolen. And he's still up to par with the norm, to be honest. This is really, really good for him. Comparing that to Liquid, where Qualifiers is doing good in the mid lane, he doesn't have comparable farm because he didn't go Midas. Like, he's 1,000 net worth behind. I don't know if his plan is actually to go Midas now after this Aquila, but if you want Midas, you generally don't get the Aquila first. So we could see him going into a Linken's, which is a lot better in this game than it was in the last one. This is a Linken's game. He can block the Glimpse. He can block Disruption. He can block Demonic Purge.
Oh, initiation onto Snaking. He's in quite a bit of trouble. Looks like it's going to be the death of him.
The King!
And the King will die. Wrecking with Souls goes off as he dies. Of course, doing only half damage, and he's out for 40 seconds. The question is, was his Midas on cooldown? Sorry. You just have to check the Midas, man. Okay, he's going to be up in time to use it. It's very important. Very important for...
It comes off 5 seconds after he lives. Insta-TP into the jungle.
TP into the jungle, okay. First exorcism we've seen, I do believe.
Yeah, did it do anything?
Not yet.
Bit of damage to the tower, maybe? I don't know when we got up to that, to see that. I guess he wouldn't have popped it if he didn't damage the tower a bit, but...
You never know.
Kind of underwhelming how much that did, but...
Looks like he's going drums.
Everything matters.
What do you think about the drums pickup?
For,
soon to be.
For Death Prophet?
Yeah. Boba.
I mean, it's
getting glimpsed with a Thunder Strike. Kinetic Field is not there. Demonic Purge is. Boba will fall.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time before he gets punished for farming the enemy jungle all the time.
And he's so close. He was so close to getting, or he's on his way to getting a Force Staff, which will get him out of those sticky situations.
Really good farm.
He's been really aggressive this game. Like, kind of overly aggressive. A couple of his deaths so far.
I still feel like he's been playing the best so far in this game. Even with that mistake he made, he got the first blood. He made the right. Like, it's one thing that he gets the first blood, but making the decision to go into the enemy jungle and realize that camp is probably stacked and then steal it, just even coming up with that idea at that point just shows great overview and awareness of what NAR is probably doing. So, I mean, imagine if he didn't do that and didn't get the first blood, how fat Snaking would have been.
Game of chicken on that tower goes to TC though. I feel like I have a comparison here. I don't know. Okay, they're on different levels, I feel like at least, but the way Burning played when the new DK was formed, feels like the way TC's been playing. He just sits in his lane and farms, doesn't really take part in fights, and I feel like the reason that DK is so good now is because Burning actually takes part in fights now.
Yeah,
it's not like
a lot more active.
It's not a 4v5.
But at the same time, I think Death Prophet, at this stage in the game, Death Prophet really needs levels. So if you get a safe lane and you can keep getting free experience, it's perfectly fine to do that. Level 2 Exorcism is so much better than level 1. It's one of the ultimates that gets the most improved by. There's the lasso
on
they have a silence as well. He is so dead.
No way he's leaping out of that. Flame Break finishes him off.
And at the same time, Koikfa taking... Oh my god, the damage! Astral Spirit
Natural
raises...
Order is like the most ridiculous passive in the game, I swear.
Natural Order, Static Storm, and raises just insane. I mean, look at Static Storm, the way it scales, right? Max damage per second goes up to 200 on level 1. So if you have a Natural Order on top of that, it's flat out 200. It's not just 200 magical, it's 200 pure. It's pretty crazy. And the biggest play of this for NAR is that, I mean, sure, Liquid get a pick off on the Mirana, but NAR get a pick off and a tower. So they get a collateral, and that's always what it's about. So I would say right now, this game, still even advantage NAR though. Even though the gold is like pretty dead even. Shadow Fiend is getting so much farm, almost has a BKB already now. Elder Titan has a mech and 1300 gold. And their supports are really high level. Like, Shadow Demon is level 8 and Disruptor is level 8. Okay, Shadow Demon is 70 experience from level 8, but these are two heavy mid-game impact supports, whereas you look at Liquid, sure, Lich is level 8 too, he has to have an advantage because of Sacrifice, he needs to be high level. Tide is also level 8, but NAR just have really good counter initiation. So if they execute their combos very well, they can counter Liquid's options pretty well actually. We talked about that in the draft, how both Disruptor and Shadow Demon were really crucial picks and how it's not the best support duo because they're not too strong together in the early game, but they've both got through it and got the experience they need. So I think NAR is doing really, really well here.
And the BKBs are going to be online for NAR pretty soon as well. Shadow Fiend just needs a recipe. Elder Titan on his way as well. He has the Ogre Club, but a little ways away, but once he gets it...
Damn, BKB is good against Liquid. Yeah. Apart from Exorcism, which is going to be a big playmaker. If
Tidehunter gets a blink, you can... I don't know, you still have time, I guess, to top BKB. We need kind of quick fingers for that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comes into effect or not. Koifka has the DD rune in this top lane. And he's in Viz as well. He's in Viz and his
okay.
DD.
1437 is going to die. The question is if there's going to be a collateral here.
Oh, we have some TP support. Another Compendium user TPing in. They're going to get the tower. Here comes a Static Storm.
Oh, nice Static Storm, actually. He might live.
He zones Koifka out pretty well, but he dies anyway. In Viz wave
He might not live.
Oh.
No True Sight from Liquid right now.
Moonlight Shadow, too good. Tidehunter has Arcane.
That would be a really good ability if True Sight didn't exist.
That's true. Tidehunter only like 700 way, so Demon pretty close to that blink.
The question is if he wants to get that first, if he wants to get a mech, because the way this game is going right now, and they're playing against Natural Order, I think perhaps in this game it's actually better to get the mech first. It's great to have the initiation from Blink Dagger, but again, there's Static Storm, there's Glimpse, maybe you can counter around it, and then perhaps having a 250 burst AoE heal for your entire team when you're playing against this amount of AoE could be a better choice. Or a Pipe, because NAR's damage right now, like 75% magical, 80? Shadow Fiend's right clicks aren't what's killing them right now. It's the raises so far.
That's true. TC did finish the drums, so well, I think I asked you. You didn't actually answer me. What do you think about
Yeah, because something happened, yeah. So
it's okay. It's okay.
it gives him great mobility, of course. So if he's not Demonic Purged, he can pretty much outrun anyone, unless if he gets glimpsed. Amazing ability. I think it's kind of if you're not getting free farm but you're having okay farm, it's a good item to snowball into the mid game with. Like get the drums early on, then get the Yules, which it look like he is getting with the Staff of Wizardry here. So it's just I like to think of drum as the item you go for when you're like a little bit all round. You're not doing extremely well, you're not doing extremely poorly. You just want a little bit of everything and then transition into your bigger items. So I think this is a good drum game.
What do you feel? Okay, so he was top lane for a long time.
Yeah.
And he goes drums, which is a very safe build. So in that sense, do you agree with it? Do you still think it's fine? Like a fast Cyclone or something like that, I feel like it might have been preferable.
I think that's a little bit, perhaps a little too glass cannon-ish for him. Sure, he does good damage with Exorcism, especially if he leveled that up on level 11. I don't know why he didn't do that. It might just be a mistake. I don't see why you wouldn't level it up on level 11. It scales so incredibly well. But getting the Yules first, what's his HP pool then? 1,000 or 950 or something, so maybe that's a little too fragile.
Well, if you get caught in like a static storm before he has Ags, which I'm just
That's
going to
true.
assume he goes for Ags on Disruptor because I just love it so much.
I actually think if you wanted to go by that logic, maybe you would have even got a Force Staff first, just so you could get out of the static storm and get perhaps...
Yeah, but you can't get out of Connect Field with the Force Staff.
If you use it early enough, before it
True.
solidifies or whatever
So
you want
Blink
to call that.
is what Demon went for. BKB finished on the Shadow Fiend, so we'll have to take that 10-second
This is going to
magic
be a
unit
big,
into
this is going to be a
effect.
really big fight.
Koipa.
If they get Snake King... Oh, Koikva?
He's gonna run right into them.
Well, okay.
Very late wave form. But
Oh, they got the stomp!
Oh my god. Echo Stomp, Static Storm. Kinetic Field is not there though, but they do have enough damage to finish him off. Here comes
Chain
the
Frost
Chain
Ravage!
Frost Ravage on a bunch of heroes, but they're snaking with the BKB. Not able to finish off Demon. He's gonna attempt to take out TC with those drums.
Yeah, he gets out.
He gets out because of those drums, Syndran. Very good. Very nicely done. Arrow.
Oh, glimpse!
Okay, well,
Such a
combination
nice
wasn't there,
play. They got the vision because of the arrow.
Okay. Even
I
though
think
it was,
so.
Yeah,
It's really, really
650
well done.
I think it's 650 vision now.
Still enough. That's
Yeah.
great play. Very, very wisely done here by NAR. So
And they can try to transition.
that was
this
2
into
for nil. They get a tier 2.
Well,
Probably.
keep in mind, they didn't see Shadow Fiend had the BKB, so that Ravage wasn't as
Yeah,
good
exactly.
as it could have
And I think the Chain Frost was really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that could have bounced between some other heroes and done
been.
a
And
lot
the
more.
Ancients, mind you.
Did it
That's
bounce with the
everybody's-
Ancients?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that could have happened.
Of course, it's not as good without Ags, but hey,
Yeah.
it's there, just in case. BKB now and Morphling as well.
Yeah. NAR is doing exceptionally well so far. They've never been more than 1,000 gold behind. Now they're leading by 4K. Experience, surprisingly for me, still in Liquid's favor. I would actually have thought that NAR would be leading now, but it's such a little difference that it doesn't really matter. So
They did not punish Shadow. Well, we saw the failed gank when Shadow Fiend had picked up the Midas. I think they killed him one time, and then another time they missed the kill with Bulba. And I don't think they punished him enough, because he was really glass cannon for a while. But now with the BKB, I guess it's 9-second BKB now. I guess you just got to make him use it, and then at some point the Ravage will actually do something. Unless you can catch him out before you can
the
actually
thing is,
activate
Snaking's
it.
just getting so much farm that I think if by the time he's burned all his BKB charges, if they get this type of fight every time, then he can buy a new one.
It's true.
So it's
Goes for lifesteal.
his farm rate is pretty good. Like, his CS now is 130 at 21 minutes, which isn't that amazing, but considering his fight attendance, I still think this is a well-played Shadowfiend game so far. Are they going to go for the Morphling here? Disruptor is there with Static Storm.
Well, BKB's
Oh man,
there.
if they time this well. Shadow Demon's there too.
Well, he can BKB it off. And he has Replicate.
Oh, he has BKB, right? Yeah, okay. No way he's going to die now.
But Death Prophet did finally pick up the Yules. So, going for both items, I guess isn't unusual.
I'm still waiting to see for Liquid here what the purpose of the Death Prophet was. I feel like you said, he's been farming a lot, which I still think is okay, but you're 20 minutes in, you now have level 2 Exorcism, you've taken 1 tower, you have a great teamfight lineup. I mean, if this is not what you picked the Death Prophet for, why didn't you get another hero? Like, this is when Death Prophet does stuff.
Well, the last game, I feel like, was kind of the same with TC. They still won the game. It was like 4v5.
Yeah.
They did just fine. I don't know. It's an interesting strategy. They're going to use the Exorcism to take out Roshan.
Okay, there we go.
Perhaps
That's
the reason that they get it.
Korok's in trouble.
Korok taking the Adaptive Strike.
Gonna leap.
We'll leap out to safety, and this should be... Well, actually, NAR, they're going to scout it out with
That's
the
a good
Astral
ward from
Spirit.
Liquid. Really, really good ward right here. Showing everything that's happening so now he can make a call. Nice
Oh,
stomp.
beautiful Echo Stomp. Here comes the
Huge!
ultimate
Oh my
from
god!
Elder Titan. I can't believe it. Koika is going to waveform out. Of course, the Exorcism is there as well. Glimpse.
Oh, good BKB.
Okay,
He might live through
Snaking
this.
will
He's
get
running out of mana though.
BKB on Koika.
These arrows are hitting really, really hard
There's
because of the
absolutely
Astral
no
Spirit
mana.
as well.
I don't know if they can kill him. This will be close.
Disruptor.
This will be close. Oh, he's going to hit the arrow. Alrighty. So getting the kill on
Holy
both
shit,
Lich
what
and
a play
Morphling.
from Brax
They're going to
that was
steal this
amazing.
Roshan now. Yeah, that. How often do you see an Echo Stomp do that much?
I feel, yeah, exactly. I
Seriously.
feel like Echo Stomp is like an ability that has a lot of potential, but that's just very, very rarely used well. That was just amazing play from Brax. They secure the Bulba. He's going to get purged.
Not able
They
to
actually
do
even
it.
static stormed the pit
Good choice.
in case he would
Oh,
go
Glimpse,
in and
Kinetic
make Glimpse
Field. Do
again.
they have enough damage to finish him off with the Soul Catcher?
Is that even a
Absolutely.
question? The
Soul
question is,
Catcher
can they
too
kill
good.
him in less than 1.5 seconds?
Okay. Well, Ravage is there, but it's a little bit too late. Well, maybe not. They're going to continue to push this tower. Of course, Aegis on Shadow Fiend now, so not too worried about dying. TC's ult is down, so he's almost useless. The silence is pretty good, I suppose.
And look at Brax's gold after that fight. He's got 3.7K.
It's been a long time since I've seen an Elder Titan be this effective in a game.
He's been really, really good.
Brax is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, the lane from him was good. Like, okay, he got behind a little bit against Morphling, but I think there was a couple of factors in that, not necessarily only his own individual play, but I just love seeing Elder Titans that get good Echo Stomps off, because I feel like it's such a rarity. And
He hasn't leveled up all the way, so...
I feel like so far the two really big players in this game have been Glimpse has been absolutely huge, and
how does Elder Titan's ult scale?
It only scales with the duration of the slow, right? I think.
Is that true?
Slow duration, yeah, only.
Okay.
Duration and percentage. It's actually one of the worst scaling ultimates, together with Ursa's.
Okay.
Ursa's ultimate is also pretty shit.
Yeah, Ursa's is like 1% difference.
Yeah, the first one is 5 and then 6, 7.
Right, yeah, that's not too good.
But yeah, I agree with the skill build. I feel like leveling Earth Splitter is really underwhelming on this hero, so I completely agree with his skill build here.
Well, it's not very often you even see an Elder Titan get these levels at this point. Like 24 minutes, level 13, has 4 in Echo Stomp. I feel like that's not very common anymore. Of course, we don't see Elder Titan as often as we used to. So.
And he's very rarely played mid, but in this game, NAR just made it work so well.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. Typically, it's offlane here. He doesn't really get the levels he needs.
He definitely had a good situation here. And the thing that happened here in early games that Liquid drafted Tide Lich as their supports. So you can that might be the reason NAR chose to put Elder Titan mid, because they were like, these heroes don't really gank that well. So maybe he can just play safely against the Morphling and get good farm, and that's what happened. Snaking is now way ahead of Morphling, 4,000 net worth lead for the Shadow Fiend. The total gold lead is actually 10,000 suddenly, which was for like 3 or 4 minutes ago, but they just got such a big fight in objectives as well. And now, it's kind of funny to say, because we talked about before the game, like, Korok is like a snowball-y player, he's really active, gets a lot done.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't really seen too much of him yet, but
not at all. It's
not like he's been playing a bad game. He didn't have the easiest lane in the world, but the other players of the team they've played so well that Korok hasn't seemed overwhelmed.
And even Batrider, amazing start, been non-existent the last 10 minutes. Ever since the force
of it,
that's
like the biggest
really
surprise
happened.
of that is that Bulba, I thought he was going to take off in this game, to be honest. Even though there's counters on the enemy team, I'm wondering if Force Staff was the right call.
What would you have done?
BKB straight away. He's playing against Disruption and he's playing against Glimpse, so
you can still purge him, but
but you get the last.
You still need to get a Force Staff at some point.
The thing is, if you don't have the Force Staff, the Disruption is a lot easier to land. So it's kind of like Pest and Cholera, right? It's a tricky situation. Snaking currently has a wolf up his butt, so it's hitting harder.
Well, it helps.
Basically, what's that doing? Gods, this is where you show something. Showcase where's the wolf looking? It's going through his legs. Okay. Tier 2 tower.
Sniff, sniff, sniff. Good. Love that wolf. It actually has the weirdest run animation. What the heck?
Shadow Fiend?
No, the wolf.
The wolf.
Looks so dumb.
Yeah, it really does.
Arrow's gonna whiff. But the fact that they can even pressure a tier 3 after the start they had is impressive.
Glimpse.
Well,
underwhelming.
Glimpse doesn't do anything. Echo Stomp not able to connect.
They get half the towers. They force the glyph. Snaking still has the BKB.
If they can force out TC's ult somehow, we have Mjolnir finished on Korok, despite his... I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. He's been farming most of this
It's
game.
still really good. He didn't have Midas, and he was playing offlane. So this is a good time.
They're going to amalgamate towards top.
Snaking taking some damage.
Well, I think they're just looking for a Brax initiation, or a counter initiation against Bulba, who's smoked right now with the Tide. If Demon can get off a good Ravage before BKBs are activated, Liquid can take this. So that's something that NAR might be kind of worried about. Perhaps
it's actually
they need
not even that easy. So the thing is, the way Demon would do that is that he blinks in and he Ravages, right? Before they get BKBs off. But even when he does that, Shadow Fiend has the Aegis, so he can just tank that, right? If the Ravage is used and they get his Aegis, I think NAR is okay with it, and then they try to get Rax. If he hits Brax with it, who also has a BKB, they can try to commit in on that, but if Disruption comes off and they try to go into Brax, they get completely destroyed going into all the other areas. I think the only way for Liquid to take this fight is Bulba gets a key pick off, the fight starts, NAR try to fight back, and Exorcism actually does something. It's still...
It's been used to kill Roshan, though.
The problem is, I have a hard time saying in this game that it's just TC underperforming. I just feel like the whole strategy for Liquid, they haven't played the lineup.
Well, what I wanted to mention earlier is like when you play against an Exorcism, you kind of spread out. You don't group up. And I feel like that doesn't synergize as well with the Lich ult and Tidehunter ult combined.
Yeah, I guess.
But, I mean, they're still powerful ults in their own right, so you can't really look at them as... You don't have to synergize them completely like that. Of course, with Batrider initiation... you're right, BKB is a must. Now that he has Force Staff, if a BKB and a Force Staff, the Demonic Purge won't really do that much, I suppose. But I believe Snaking should be finished with his Butterfly about now. And I think that's what they were waiting for.
Yep.
Unless it's not on him right now, I'm not sure. Oh, there it is, Aghanim
my
Scepter,
goodness.
yes!
That came out of nowhere.
Yes! Oh, that's big. That is a huge pickup.
What's important about that, of course, it works like an AoE Doom, basically. It disallows you from using the inventory. So if he catches the Death Prophet, she can't use Ewells anymore in the cloud.
Right.
And Bulba can't use Force Staff. So that's like the two main things he can counter with it. Here we go, Lasso.
Lasso onto Snaking. Of course, he
Aegis
has
is
the
gone.
Aegis
is gone.
Oh no, blunder! A huge blunder for NAR. They're gonna have to back up. Not sure if there's a buyback for Snaking here.
Almost lost
There's
the
the
tie there to
Cyclone.
the Splitter.
Surprised NAR wants to fight this, to be perfectly honest. There's the Aghanim Scepter, Static Storm being used. TC gets blown up, but of course he hasn't really been here the entire game, so who really cares? 4v4 at this point. Liquid loses their range racks. Echo Stomp. It is actually going to hit on Quick, though.
I think NAR needs to be a little careful here. This is not necessarily a good idea. Brax could be in trouble.
Oh.
He goes in.
Tidehunter already uses Ravage, of course, so he's just there for the gush.
Oh, they're just hitting Koikfa. Wow.
He's going down so fast, even with the BKB. Not able to finish him off as the Chain Frost actually finishes off Brax, surprisingly enough. Chain Frost is still bouncing. Korok gets taken out, so it's 3 for 1. I feel like NAR stayed a little bit too long as Fog's going to clean up. So this is going to be a complete team wipe for Liquid.
Did get back, but
So
yeah, that was just way too.
It was just the Aegis, really. That's poor timing.
But the thing is, they actually still kind of got away with it. They traded Shadow Fiend for DP and the top racks, like the ranged one. You like cut your losses and get out instead of staying for that 4v4 where Elder Titan was completely out of mana. If he would have had a little bit of mana there, maybe they could have taken the fight with Mech or something like that. And they were just so close to killing Koikfa. Did you see that?
Yes,
was like,
that was
so
very close.
that was Elder Titan being in melee range with Koikfa and the 2 Disruption Illusions just hitting on him. He took so much damage, and if they would have killed Koikfa there, maybe it's a good trade, but like risk-reward kind of thing.
Well, as a result of that fight, and NAR had I wouldn't say it's a huge lead, but they have a substantial lead even without the Aegis. The reason that they didn't care about him being initiated was because they thought he had an Aegis. But now, with that fight going Liquid's way, you have Ethereal Blade on Morphling, you have Mech on Lich. So Liquid's starting to come into form a little bit here, with a little bit of a misplay from NAR. And Death Prophet, is this a Shiva's or is this an Assault?
That's a Shiva's, I think.
Yep.
Okay. Having that slow aura against Shadow Fiend as well as Mirana and Elder Titan is going to be really crucial. The attack speed slow is really, really good. But I still feel like at this point, if NAR didn't make that play, that misplay, that this is what's keeping Liquid in the game right now, that one misplay. But at the same time, okay, we can be honest and say NAR's been playing an incredible game so far. So there's room for mistakes when you play this well until that point.
He can initiate with his static
he can't
and kinetic
BKB.
field. He can't do jack crap. There goes the Echo Stomp.
Oh my goodness.
He's dead. If they can get a Lothar's on 1437, that's a kill every time on Morphling. That is next level stuff, man.
So good. Ag Static Storm.
Now, we've talked about this in our past cast, but Aghanim Scepter on Disruptor has got to be like top 5.
It is.
Like. Along with Coddle, of course.
Yeah, Coddle's is the best.
Talked about that to death.
Yeah.
Yes, I can agree with that.
I really like 1437's playing this game. Disruptor's actually personally one of my favorite supports, mainly because of Glimpse, and can't really, apart from that one mistake 1437 made in the bot lane, can't really fault him for anything he's done. He's been playing a really, really good game.
I think the important thing, though, is Disruptor's actually getting experience on farm. Like, putting him as a 5 is just, it's like a disservice to the hero, you know? It's so important to get
disruptions of the Shadow Fiends are going to be Illusion pushing a bit here.
Slow Siege
immediately
continues.
pinging out, this is the right Shadow Fiend, but I'm a little bit surprised. If they saw that Koikfa just bought the E-Blade, they would probably know he didn't have buyback, so they could have just committed for this Rax right away.
Right.
And it looks like they are indeed going to do that now. Koikfa's up in 3, that Rax is going to be gone.
Yeah, this is one.
Or maybe not Glimp.
BKB's popped. There's the initiation from Bat Rider onto the Mirana.
Nice disruption.
Huge. Reckoning of Souls does actually nothing. I said huge, but absolutely nothing. Tidehunter uses Ravage. He's dead. This is a dead Rax. They can go for Roshan. They can continue this fight. Probably going to back up, so they learned their lesson from last time. Kinetic Field used to zone them out. Bulba not able to actually go through it. And 2 Rax dead. Or I guess it was just the melee Rax for that case. But with Roshan coming up in about a minute, I think they can get, once they push up mid a bit, they can easily get that Rosh.
At this point, with how Fogg is positioning himself in the Shadow Demon, this is not the type of initiation Bulba can go for. He has to catch the Shadow Demon. I think it's like the only choice he has at this point, because Fogg is on the money. He immediately disrupts the target. When he gets out of disruption, he turns, he gets Force Staff, and is just resetting, basically. Who did Lasso in that fight? Was it Brax? I'm not sure who it was.
Gods is indicating that it's about 30 seconds away, approximately, from Rosh. He's giving me the thumbs up from the production desk. Hasn't had enough not slow-mos. That would be amazing if you could do slow-mos in this game. Holy crap. Instant replay slow-mo, Echo Stomp. Oh my god. Is he going to be able to 1437 very low, but Replicate is used to get out of dodge. Looks like Tier 3 is going to be taken out. Question is, are they going to continue this push?
There's no Ravage. BKB is ready on Shadow Fiend again. I think they can keep going. Just need to earn up again.
Silence is used.
Earn up the King once.
Exorcism's on cooldown for another 30 seconds. You're right. They could have gone pretty deep there.
I think this would have been an opening, but they can also just take Roche.
Yeah, Roche is... He should be up now.
Snaking's
Let's take a look at Roche,
really,
guys.
really good.
Let's see if the 30 seconds is correct. God, we're so good here.
Amazing.
God, he is so sexy. Look at that. What is that?
Is that like one of those that's my fetish
What's
moment?
the yellow thing on his face? What is that?
It's the Aegis.
That's the... No.
It's just the other way around. It's the back of the Aegis.
It's an interesting design.
Yeah.
Of course, my nickname for Roshan in Dota 1 was Scrote, because he looked like a huge scrotum, which I kind of missed, to be perfectly honest. That was one of my favorite models in the game. Now, I mean, he looks pretty cool, but it's just not comparable. I don't think to Dota 1. That big juicy rock, people feared that thing, you know? Now it's just like they do level 1 Roshes, they don't care. Shiva's completed now on Death Prophet. Shadow Fiend has the ultimate orb, so I think that's a Scotty, or is he going Manta?
Could also be a Lincoln's. It is.
Okay, Lincoln's. So
with
ultra defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has a lot of damage.
Yeah. I think this is the best choice, to be honest. Like, the only way these fights can go wrong is if Snaking somehow gets caught off guard, and perhaps they can't necessarily rely on Fog to be completely perfect every time. So this is kind of a safeguard play from Snaking here. He could have gone for Manta too, but I feel like you're fighting into Liquid's AoE lineup. Manta's going to be garbage. It's just going to die immediately. I don't think those Illas would be that good. So. Scotty or Lincoln's would be best here, and yeah, both are good. So.
Well, oh, we have a smoke used. Doesn't catch TC. This really is 4 on 5. They didn't even smoke him. Poor guy. 1437 with the Ags. Backing up. Was that smoke on 1437? Okay, yeah. So 2 smokes being used, and doesn't look like any kills will come of it.
Too. This gold graph is getting pretty significant now, 14,000. The experience is 2k. It's kind of funny to see how close that is, but probably because of that teamfight top that NAR gave away. It gave a lot of experience back the way of Liquid.
That was about like 6k.
Yeah, roughly a 6k dip from that fight. But they've taken it back again. They lost the lead in experience. They got it back pretty quickly. So.
But the gold lead is substantial, like you talked about. The items are out of control for NAR. I mean, the fact that Shadow Fiend can go for a Lincoln's this late means that he's doing pretty well.
I actually think Fog can now even start thinking about an Ag Scepter. He has a 4-staff and 2.5k. Of course, the way that works on Shadow Demon now is that you get 2 ultimates on, like, it has 2 charges and then it recharges. So you can get 2 ultimates with, what was the cooldown again? It's 50 seconds. I think
40,
they're both
40 seconds.
They're both 50 on cooldown, right?
Like, well, when it's Ags level 3, I know it's 40 seconds for both.
Okay.
I believe.
I know, I believe.
So, really the 2 targets you're looking at for Demonic Purge are Bat Ride or Death Prophet. Those are the 2 most important. I mean, positioning is so important, especially for Death Prophet. And we just haven't seen Exorcism come into play in teamfights at all, which is... It's unfortunate. It's a huge ultimate.
Yeah. If you put TC's net worth, which is 13k, onto a different type of hero, I feel like it could have been another game. Oh, Glimpse!
Glimpse kinetic field. No, BKB must have been popped. Yeah. Indeed, it was.
That's such a big deal.
Yeah, now they can initiate whenever they want. Here comes the initiation though on Shadow Fiend, bringing him in.
Money.
Disruption used defensively. Snaking pops his ulti. TC at half HP. Uses Cyclone defensively, but I believe he's going to die right after the fact, and he does. Chain Frost used. There's the Ravage. It's actually going to hit 2, and the Chain Frost is continuing to bounce, but there's the Creep Wave. No Aghanim Scepter for you, Lich. So Shadow Fiend is dead. That is most of the damage from NAR. They're going to have to use the Moonlight Shadow to get out of dodge. And oh my, was that a double kill Starstorm? How often do you see that? Koiko on the run, using his Morph ability. Arrow is not going to hit this time. Doesn't have enough mana to wait for him. He's going to be good to go. This might actually be a tier 3, despite losing Shadow Fiend, who just bought back. Did he get Boots of Travel or something like that? Where is he? No, he's just walking.
Okay.
Actually, he's just going to go farm the jungle. Has to do that.
Amazing buyback.
Really important. Yeah. Well, it would have been a good buyback if you could make it there in time.
If he had Boots of Travel, that would have been a second lane Rax. Maybe even game, because the mid tower is gone too.
He used literally all his money, I guess.
Yeah.
On that.
It's a little bit of a panic play. They're still going to get Roche. Okay, talking of panic plays, Korok just leaped into
He's fine.
Good position.
He's doing fine. Going for a Battle Fury, of course. That was awesome.
Oh, arrow almost clips Bulba there. And Korok's actually just going to keep hitting him here.
The right clicks are so ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think Bulba can go in there.
feel like
Has the
if you're so good at using Elder Titan, like this hero has kind of fallen off, but when you play it this well, it's worthy of a pick in most games.
Roshan, there's a static storm. Again, use defense.
Oh,
the arrow's going
arrow!
to clip Bull, but he's going to go down in all likelihood. But the Ethereal Blade's going to save him at least for now.
Yeah,
but he is dead. 1 for 1. Korok did fall. Oh my god.
What?
Wow. That was
Get bursted!
That was a 3-shot. Glimpse now onto Lich. Right clicks continue. Although
I like how Snaking farms all the creeps first.
Wait, was that a ghost scepter? Is that why they did that? Does Lich have a ghost scepter?
No. He got glimpsed in, so he was like...
That's just like
creep.
ultimate
Oh, there's
slap
a
in the
Lich.
face right there.
Oh, he was like, that's just another creep in the collection, right? He kills him as fast as
It
the
really
creeps.
is. Well, Morphling was a creep in that fight. My
Yeah,
goodness. So this is going to be 2 racks,
Yeah.
if not GG.
This is something we didn't actually mention. So the way Natural Order works, it removes all base armor. So it removes 27 armor from Morphling with that. When he's in full agility mode, one of the things that keeps Morphling alive is that if he has BKB, he takes very little physical damage, but I don't think I've ever seen a Morphling die that fast. And with that
Unless
farm
it was
at
like the
40
first
minutes,
5 levels or something, but yeah.
Holy shit.
This late game, insane. They're going to get 3 racks.
Yeah, this is over.
This is ultimate creep. Or super creep.
It's just over.
Here comes the exorcism. I don't know why I'm laughing. Exorcism's here, everybody. Boba trying to find somebody. The BKB will pop. He's going to find Fog. Is there any damage follow-up, though? Demon, see the glimpse being used. Snaking actually goes down, but of course he has the Aegis, so TC's efforts perhaps not in vain.
He has BKB ready, he can Rax.
Yeah, he can just Rax this with the BKB. He's going to use his ultimate, though, just for good measure.
Oh,
Lowers the
can he?
damage,
Can he?
everybody. It's going to be close.
That's GG.
Okay, that's not close, actually. He's dead. Lincoln's pops. But I don't think he really cares. He doesn't have a buyback for another 3 minutes, unless Liquid can completely... I mean, there's a tier 1 mid still. I don't think they're going to do anything about this.
No. Wow.
Gods is really good at drawing on the map, I have to say. Remember when I used to draw on the map and it was like little diamonds? Why does it... Everybody else has no trouble but me. I don't understand. I think my computer's just bugged. Blink Dagger now on Disruptor. Shiva's on Elder Titan. Ravage U's on absolutely nothing, and the GG's come out. Congratulations to NAR, proving everybody wrong in the studio.
Yeah.
But it was kind of... I mean, yours was 70-30. You were the most wrong. So
You just had to say it, didn't you?
I did.
I was as wrong as you guys. You went for the same
Hey,
team.
I don't know if I can trust somebody that didn't
You
buy a
went for the
compendium. All right, anywho.
All right, we're looking for a replacement Casper Sons fan. I'm
TI
taking anyone. I don't want to talk.
Is it TI4Qualifiers.com, I believe, is the new site
Yeah,
you guys
we're
can find all
going
the
to talk about that
information.
in a moment, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about
It's,
that. So NAR beating Liquid despite everybody being against them.
yeah.
And
They made a statement. I mean, looking at the kill score, this looks even. I just think NAR outplayed them in pretty much every aspect of the game, apart from the super early game. And we had Merlini talk about they shouldn't pick Luna for TC because it's too passive. It's not going to do enough. I feel like this Death Prophet was what the reason Merlini doesn't want Liquid to pick the Luna for TC. This was like the same thing. Passive farmer. He got a lot of farm. Never really
do you guys agree with
did anything.
my comparison to Burning? Obviously, they're different players, but the way that you
old
understand my
Burning.
comparison,
With
right?
TC?
I
Right,
definitely agree. I like that analogy a lot.
Like, I feel like
The
TC
early
just
DK
doesn't
Burning.
have
Well, see,
any
I feel
effective
Burning
gameplay.
adapted, and TC's trying to adapt, but he's just
Yeah,
can't really.
They
He's
need
struggling.
heroes that synergize well. Like last game, Leoric pot him. Easy setup. He knows where to go. He knows when to follow up. He can actually participate from across the map with Moonlight Shadow. In this game, it's just like if he's off by himself, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't create space. He doesn't get enough farm. He doesn't dodge ganks.
To be fair, in this game, I just feel like Death Prophet didn't.
It
fit
was
in.
a weird pick,
It didn't really fit in.
but there was
with the
only
game
one
plan.
tower down.
Yeah.
Right? It was only the top T1.
Yeah, but that was his tower though. So he
I know.
did push the one he could. Like,
But it's like a 40-minute game, one tower with Death Prophet, and they needed the physical damage because BKBs just wrecked the Bat Rider and the Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Without the BKBs, or with the BKBs, they need a lot of physical damage. That's Morphling's job, that's Death Prophet's job, and they did not deliver.
no. I feel like if you're Liquid right now, okay, you lost to the team you had to beat to be #1. So
Yes.
we're still considering Liquid for top 2. So
Yes.
you could say this game is not that important because they're still going to meet in the winners bracket final then if Liquid wins the rest of the games and NAR did the same, right? So it's like, I feel like what Liquid need to take away from this is realize the mistake of how they're using TC. Like, I feel like the rest of their strategy is okay. Maybe in this game, the support duo, perhaps too greedy. Tide Lich didn't really do anything.
I think one of the bigger problems is also they completely misread NAR's lanes. They thought Elder Time was going to be off lane. They thought the SF was going to be mid. I mean, sure, Bulba did fantastic in the off lane against the SF, and
Yeah,
well,
he did so well.
at the start, but I mean, once we reached like 10 minutes in, like sure they killed SF twice, but Snaking was top of the net worth for like 95% of that game.
It was the one blunder for Batrider in the jungle. I don't know if you can call it a blunder. It was kind of a 50-50 shot where he went for Shadow
that was
Fiend
to me that was the turning point of the entire game.
Yeah,
where
it was.
He got a double kill as well. Like he got both those 2 kills. That was the turning point of the entire match.
I feel like that's a play you go for. I think you can't really fault Liquid for that because that could have easily worked out. It was close.
Yeah.
Well played by Snaking. Maybe a little bit of detail in the
really well
play
played.
there.
Snaking hit like all 3 raises.
Yeah,
like,
that was really good. But
it looked like Boba, like he realized he was in trouble and threw the flame break so he could get it run away, but then he hit him with the C raise.
The long raise, yeah, was really good.
That was so nice.
I still feel like that's the thing we can point out, but at the end of the day, I feel like TC, find some way of getting him online. What's your suggestion? Like, how do we incorporate TC more in the game?
I think they need to put a more active hero on Quakefoot and just generally be more active. I think they picked the Morphling a little bit too early, and the Elder Titan and the Disruptor just completely pooped all over Morphling the entire game.
Did you see when he died in the end?
No, I didn't.
He came out of Disruption. He died in half a second.
Oh yeah, it's
one hit from Shadow Fiend, one hit from Elder Titan.
The Elder Titan was a really smart pick, but at the same time, like they didn't make enough room for TC. Like if they want him to farm, they can't also pick a heavy farmer for Quakefoot because Quakefoot needs space to create. I think too, because otherwise it's just too passive, and Liquid do not usually win.
So when was it they picked the Death Prophet? They last picked it, right?
The last Death Prophet, they second pick Morphling.
What do you pick instead then here? Like I feel like there's so many options, but I'm like, what's the best?
I like Lifesteal. I don't know if Lifesteal was still in the pool. To me, Lifesteal was one of TC's best hero. You asked how to get TC involved. Have him infest a hero with a Blink Dagger. You're getting involved.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like you need a carry in that role at all.
Ursa's not bad.
You have a Morphling for late game. I don't think you. I mean, obviously TC plays the carry, but you don't necessarily need a carry in that role.
You need a
fighter. Well, Lifesteal is kind of like not even a true hard carry either. Like you can run Lifesteal with a Morphling. They had
really good Lifesteal mechanisms here. They had a Batrider. They had a Tide with Blink.
Lifesteal is
like he could infest anyone apart from Lifesteal.
They didn't need a pusher. They just needed physical damage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about it.
And
I mean, it's not the best Lifestealer game. Like there's heroes to kind of around and all, but like Lifesteal's not bad against Disruptor. It's not the best against Shadow Demon Miranda.
You have to get a BKB hero. I think it's or Lifestealer with Rage. Obviously,
but you know, I still want to point out because TC's getting a lot of flack, but I think it's like there's 2 stories to it. Maybe he's underperforming, but at the same time, I just feel like they're also not
the strategies.
He is getting put in hard positions. Let's be honest.
Yes, that's not an easy role.
It's not easy to perform in this type of game with that hero. He got the farm he needed. He got the tier 1 tower, but like in team fights, we were talking about. You were almost laughing when you used Exorcism and went in, right? Because we were like, "What's that even gonna do?" But what could he do?
Well, who was doing who's doing the drafting and the strat calling for Liquid? I guess is
I think TC was picking this game.
Okay, I mean he was picking, and whether he was doing the strat calling in games, maybe another matter.
That's another story.
Well, at least they learned something, right? They learned that Death Prophet in that sort of situation doesn't work, and I think that recently they've been trying a lot of heroes out for TC. Before it was Luna. Now it's Potom sometimes, Ursa sometimes, Slardar sometimes.
I feel like instead of Lich, because the Chain Frost was non-existent this game.
Well, they didn't do enough damage before BKB.
I feel like a Treant, actually, as much as we've been hating on Treant, he would have actually been better in that role, because, I mean, Death Prophet needs people, unless you're like super farmy or like, ridiculously fast, you can't really catch up to people a lot of the time. The Cyclone helps, but the problem with that, Exorcism was popped, everybody just dissipates. Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with TC not having the farm either. Like, enough farm to actually stay alive in fights, because you just get bursted down. But even in, like, equal farm scenarios. I
actually really like the Lich, because it allowed them... Like, Lich swung from mid to bottom lane a lot, and actually won them a lot of the lane stage. To me, the problem was the Tide. I think Tide's actually a really bad support hero. I like Tide as an offlaner, but I think Tide makes a bad support.
They had, like, 3 potential... Was it 4? 3 or 4 potential offlaners. Yeah. It was pretty insane. Yeah. We didn't even know what the lanes were going to be.
To me, like... And then you look at, like, just what Tide offers at the team, like, as far as... Like, Tide and Lich are both big ultis. Like, apart from that, they don't have like your stable, constant like stun providers. Like if it was a Sand King or something, I think they're looking much better.
Sand King was available like the entire time almost, right?
He was 5th band.
Okay.
I mean, once everybody got BKBs, Tidehunter was completely useless.
To me, like Sand King's just a better hero than Tidehunter as a support, hands down.
9 out of 10 cases. I agree.
Yeah, he farms so much easier.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about Liquid. I want to mention a little bit about NAR because I feel like this game they drafted so well. Like I point out the first phase. This is the best Shadow Demon pick I've seen in the qualifiers for sure. Maybe one of the best I've seen for a very long time. They realized that they can set up the arrow with the Shadow Demon. They pick it against Batrider, and they pick it against Morphling, so they can make the illusions right. That was just a perfect pick. Realizing the opening for Elder Titan was perfect too. Yeah. And they read Liquid's draft. They counterpicked everything, and then even though it seemed like an even game, I feel like the draft as well just favored them. Yeah. Perhaps even with TC on another hero, I still would have favored NAR's draft.
Dude, natural order plus soul catcher. That's disgusting damage.
Absolutely insane.
Disgusting.
They played him, and I think this also showed how flexible they are, because normally you think of a player like Korok either playing a mid hero or a carry hero. He was Marana, which is kind of a carry, but he basically played it like a true offlaner, because, I mean, I remember you guys mentioning in your cast, like, oh, Korok hasn't really done all that much, but everyone else has, but I think it's because of the position it was put in. I think Korok played perfectly. He played the role he was put in and made very little mistakes. He hit good arrows, he missed a few, but he threw enough that hit, and he played fantastic. It was the two carries for NAR that's kind of steal the show.
I don't think we were saying he played badly. We were just saying everyone else played so well.
He wasn't shining.
It didn't seem like he was shining.
Which is his role. Yeah.
He often does that. But
it's more you think Korok, you think Morphling, you think Stormspirit, you think Playmaker. That was not his role this game.
The Disruptor set up 10 kills with Glimpse.
Oh man, Disruptor.
The Shadow Demon hit 3 correct disruptions instantly in a row on the lasso. They did everything right positional-wise. Brax played the best Ullr Titan I've seen, apart from Ice Ice Ice. I don't know.
Brax has to be the MVP of that game.
For a long time. He was so damn good at the game.
Yeah, I think
and I think it's awesome to see that they're not scared to do something else. That puts you in a position of power against a team like Liquid, which, to be honest, pretty predictable right now.
I think the big thing is NAR, their supports just played. Their supports actually achieved something, whereas you look at Liquid, what are their supports to that game? And Lich maybe did some good in the laning stage, but beyond that, very little.
And when you play the duo Shadow Demon Disruptor, just on paper early game, these two don't have the greatest synergy in terms of damage, and both are really level dependent. They pulled it off. They got the levels they needed, and then just
we were talking about the combo with arrow into disruption. We didn't even see that until like 20
minutes into the
game. So
it wasn't needed. No. That's a scary thought. But we've had other matches going on. We can take a look at our standings, I hope, and see results. Is everything's done? Day one's over, guys.
Over.
We did it. We didn't.
We did it, Reddit.
Yes.
That's the motto.
All thanks to you guys, Reddit. Make a thread. Let everyone know that you guys just casted day one of the NA hub.
Thanks for making the games run smoothly, Reddit.
Yeah.
Good job.
So NA Rejects, the only team undefeated. They've got the smooth track to #1 in the group stage. Liquid 4-1. Top 5 4-1. That is a big surprise for a lot of people.
They played some weaker teams though today, right?
They played weaker teams.
For the most part. Mort's the only one who called this. He's the one who said like this is a team to look out for.
Top 5 didn't play Liquid yet, right?
Who was their last one against?
They played Union Gaming.
They beat Union?
Yes. They beat Ban Earth.
Beat Ban Earth.
They beat Shadows of the Past.
Shadows of the Past.
Beat E-Hug. And
E-Hug?
lost to CNB.
They lost to CNB. Wow, if they would have won that game.
So they haven't played anybody in the top 4.
That was their opening game when they got wrecked really hard. They haven't played any of the top teams, really.
I think Sneaking Nyx has played some hard teams, and they're 4-2. I think they're in pretty good position to.
Yes.
We still need to think, like, we're still considering Liquid favorite for the 2nd place, and now NAR for 1st place. Yes. But it's best of ones. They can lose a game to top 5 and suddenly be 3rd. That's not out of the question. It's a best of 1.
Yeah.
And maybe they're triple.
How are Revenge doing? Can we look at the rest of the standings?
Even Nyx, like, if Nyx beats Liquid, they didn't play against each other, right?
Yeah.
I'm terrible at keeping track of that. Nyx didn't play Liquid yet. That would have been a storyline, so we haven't had that.
Yeah.
If they beat Liquid, they're even.
Yeah. I think the big thing is here, honestly, the 4 teams that most of us said would finish top 4, which is your SNAR, NAR, Liquid, and Revenge. None of these teams have lost to anyone except each other. So in theory, like even that you look at this, you say top 4, they're top 5, they're 4-1. Revenge, they're currently 7th place or whatever in the standings. End of the day, they've only lost to top teams. So in theory, everything is going according to plan, and we'll see these 4 teams in the playoffs if tomorrow goes accordingly, which it couldn't, but most likely.
Well, best of ones are always very up there.
That's the thing.
You know, so you never know.
I would have more faith.
We haven't had an
any
upset
upsets.
today.
That's true.
No.
Well, the upsets have all been between like the bottom 5 teams, I guess, which was I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
anything's possible. It's another day. I mean, Team Liquid was so strong until the last game, so I guess you never know.
That's the thing that's really difficult, right? Because Liquid can look extremely good against the not so good teams, and it can almost be deceptive. Like they just look extremely good because the opponent isn't that big, and then when they get a good opponent, suddenly it's like, how good were they really? I got caught in it too. I said they had 70% chance of winning, but that was.
Well, you've been wrong a lot today.
But but I also haven't seen NAR's games, so that's another thing. I just heard they stomped, but I didn't really count those too much either because.
To make excuses for all of us, we'd seen all of Liquid's games. We hadn't seen of NAR. So
but
maybe if we'd seen all of NAR's and none of Liquid's, maybe we'd be seeing
NAR play any good opponents though.
Yeah.
Who did Liquid play? That was a good opponent. Revenge and E-Hug, right?
And SNAR.
And SNAR.
Revenge, E-Hug, SNAR. So like it's like they beat.
Oh, they did play SNAR.
No, not SNAR. Sorry,
I
keep
thought
lying.
they didn't play SNAR?
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they
did
played
play
SNAR.
SNAR.
Yeah. God damn it.
They have. Look, it's a lot of games. We've got 55 best of ones over 2 days. How are you meant to keep track of every?
It is really hard to keep track. So
that's why we have the website www.ti4qualifiers.com. You guys can follow the entire schedule there. All streams for the NA hub as well as the EU hub. for those of you who want to pick your casters, choose your streamers. It's got 2 hubs running concurrently and like 20 casters
Still
at
my
each.
pen.
I'm just holding it because it makes me look clever, waving it around. Pretend I have a notepad with here, which
You like my notes?
Team did good.
yeah, it's not as
So were these your notes or Mott's?
That's Mott's.
These are Mott's notes.
Mike is feeding.
Let's read out a couple of highlights
we
from
can almost
Mott's
get
notes.
can we read them on the show 'em on camera if you get the close up?
Yeah.
Highlights. Lots
Oh.
of trades. Mike is feeding. Both teams are playing well.
Yeah. Nice. Do we get?
That's
Can
the
we
best
get
line.
the close up of the
We need a
Mott's
photo of
notes?
that. That's Mott notes. That's legit.
Roland, we
Love
need the
it.
close up.
You can hold it up. And,
Okay.
Huh? Where am I holding that?
I don't know.
Let's hold it up. You're gonna zoom on it? Like this. Legit.
down.
Adjust it
down
here,
left.
over here on my face.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There you go.
There
Yeah, yeah.
we go.
Hold
Keep
it still. Okay.
This is
Lots of trades. Both teams are playing well.
Snar doggy. What? Is that snar
Ye-
dodgy?
Even in kills at 17:30. Good pickoffs.
Both teams are playing well. I like it. Mike is feeding. Yep.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's his copyrighted content that he's made. We'll get
gonna have to
sued.
pay
Gonna
rights
get
for that.
sued.
Yeah.
We're trying to develop a new hashtag Mott Notes.
Yeah.
Mott notes.
Mott
Yeah,
Notes.
that's good.
So please use that.
Well, we'll be hearing from his lawyers soon. But guys, I think we're done. I don't know. Most of us are tired. I can already hear people yelling and probably drinking in the lounge stream.
We got to be up early tomorrow. Bright
Yeah,
and early.
we're back tomorrow. Schedule starts tomorrow. I don't know the exact schedule of matches. Check out the website. We don't want to read through a big list of matches, but it starts at the same time. 9 a.m. Pacific time is the first match of the day. We're going to start our pre-show around 8:30. For those of you in Europe, that's
+9.
6 p.m. Yeah, +9. 6 p.m. is the first match.
You said 8:30? Or the
Yeah.
game is starting at 9?
Game starts at 9, so
Yeah,
6
that's
p.m. is the
6
first
p.m., yeah.
match. 5:30 p.m. is your first. Is the pre-game, which I'm not sure who's on. Don't really know the schedule. Check it out. TI4 Qualifiers.com.
You and Basecap, you're on.
Right. We've got. Nah. Look, I was sick. I was sleep deprived. I just wrote names and numbers. But yeah, check it out. All the action tomorrow, guys. This has been the NA Hub. Hope you guys are. How are you guys enjoying your stay here?
It sucks balls.
Yeah, you still having Chipotle.
Yeah, we're
That's
done.
true. Ah, damn it! I forgot about that. Okay,
I'm
we'll
just
do
gonna
that
keep
soon.
reminding you.
We'll do that soon. I'm a man of my word, so we'll do it. That was from like 2 years ago too. That's wait, 2 years or 1 year?
He's not
year
a
and a
man
half.
of his word.
Okay, year and a half.
It's still, like, today's games,
Well,
like you
it's a
said,
year. Your promise is as old as my promise. So.
That's true. That is true.
yeah, as far
That
as...
bed is so comfortable. I'm sorry. Your bed is the most comfortable bed I've ever been in, to this day.
You apologize.
It's probably because-
to Syndrin.
No,
I
because
didn't
I
get
cut
that.
him off, but also I may have told him
Okay.
something else. Okay, anyway,
Okay.
it's fine.
But yeah, in conclusion, like Merlina said, no big upsets today,
No.
as such. The storylines kind of continue, I guess, because there is still a chance of an upset into the top 2. Liquid could lose a best of 1, maybe not
Yes.
get there. The 3rd and 4th position are totally up for grabs. There's like nothing set in stone at all who gets to the playoffs.
Not set in stone, no. But
It's what was this? Can you bring on the standings again?
There's
for a
some
moment?
set in stone as to who won't
I mean,
make it
Revenge
there.
and Star are 3 and 2
like-
or 2 and 2, but they've it's they still haven't played the easier teams. So
Yeah.
it comes
That's-
down to teams like CNB as well as
Top 5.
top 5. To me, it's CNB top 5 who are theoretically teams who and Union. CNB
Union.
top 5 Union.
Union
who
haven't
can-
played any of the hard teams either.
If they beat
Yeah.
some top teams, they may squeak in, but they've got to bring their A game, beat teams like Liquid, beat teams like Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Otherwise, they're out.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see a couple upsets tomorrow.
I hope so.
Predictions. I have no idea who's playing, even though you just went over them. But
Somebody will
prediction
win.
is
One of
yes,
these,
somebody will
one of
win.
those 11 teams we just saw.
Yes, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
that's it for today, guys. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have more action coming your way from the NA Hub. I'm Gods, Merlini, Sunsfan, and Cinderin, and we're going to be done. So this has been the TI4 Qualifiers presented by Monster Energy, and we are done for today. See you guys tomorrow.